What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing yet another ranking your Nitro type profile with a $5 million prize. So just a few things to say before this video starts. The first thing being that I will not be able to get to everyone in this video because we now have over 450 responses, which is absolutely insane. So obviously I'll only be able to get to a few people, but afterwards, after this video, we will be getting to a lot more, so I'm super excited for that, and I might even just live stream it, which could also be really fun. Otherwise, a really quick plug to the YouTube channel, and if you are not already subscribed, then be sure to do that if you enjoy my content, because only around 35% of people watching my videos are subscribed. And then one other thing that I would like to quickly say is actually I'm doing a lot more community posts now, so if you want to go over to my community tab, I'll link it in the description, then you can definitely check that out. Sorry for this long intro. Here is ranking your Nitro type profile. I believe this is like 6, 7, something around that. Here we go right now. Alright, so if you didn't know how we kind of do this video, then essentially we rank it in 5 different categories: name tag, badges, racer skill, racer activity, garage layout, and miscellaneous, for a total of 10. The first 3 are out of 2 points, garage layout is out of 3, and then miscellaneous is out of 1. And we are starting off with the Bimmer 15K. So they do not have a badge, so we will give them a 1.75 out of 2. That's how we will be doing it. Their racer skill, they're between 50 and 100, which means that we will give them a 1 in that category. Racer activity, we're going to be going by level 15 for a full 2 points, so they'll get a full 2 out of 2 on this one. And then garage layout, the one that is most important. They don't have a whole lot of, actually I take that back, they have a few amount of cars. They don't have a huge amount, and I'm not wild about this like kind of spin. And if we zoom out, I feel like we can get a little bit of a better view of what's trying to go on here. I think they're gonna try to do it like all the way around. I mean, it's an okay setup. I'm also not wild about the yellow cars. I feel like some cars paint well in yellow and others don't. So I think at the end of the day, I'll be giving them a 1.75 out of 3, just because the color and then the spacing isn't my favorite. And then miscellaneous, we're going to go by when their account was made and how many profile views to race ratio they have. So their account was made before 2020, so we'll give them a full, 0.5 for that. And then a 3 to 15 ratio. That's okay. That's around 20%, I believe. So yeah, it's not too bad, and we'll give them a full 1 point. So adding it all up at the end of the day, it looks like we have around 7.5 points to start off with Bimmer 15K. Overall, pretty nice. Let's go into our next person. Heading into our next person, we have Flame Dancer. So name, tag, and badges. Currently, they do not have a badge, but the name and tag are pretty cool, so we'll give them a 1.75. Racer skill, currently they're within that 50 to 100 zone, so we'll give them a 1 out of 2. Racer activity, they're not currently at level 15, so I think we're going to split it up by, anywhere from 0 to 10 will be 1 point. Anywhere from 10 to 15 will be 1.5, and then anywhere from 15 plus will be 2. So I'll give them a 1 point for that category. Garage layout, this one's a really important one. Again, another kind of spaced out garage. So looking at it, it's an okay setting. I mean, I'm not wild about how they painted their cars. I think a lot of these cars actually don't look very great in red. And the spacing isn't great either. I'd actually say this is kind of similar to number 1, how I like it in spacing, so I'm pretty meh on it. But they also don't have a whole lot of cars, so I think we'll give them a 1.5 out of 2 in that category. And then miscellaneous. So if we look at miscellaneous, they were made before 2020, so that's 0.5. And then they have around an 800 to 6,500 ratio, which is around a, I don't know, whatever 1/8 is. So I think it's okay. If it's not under 1, or yeah, if it's not under 1/10, then they get a full point. So they get a full 1 point in that category as well. So if we add it all up, that's 3, that's 4.5, that's 5. They have a total of 6.25, so overall not too bad. Let's head into our next person. Absolutely, flying into our next person, we have Spirit. Name tag and badges. Their tag and their name actually match up, but no badge, so we will give them a 1.75 as well. So we are a 3 for 3 on the 1.75. Now for Racer skill, currently they are at 62 words per minute, so they get a 1 as well. All of these are matching up today. Racer activity, they're level 2, so they'll get 1 for today as well. And then garage layout, this is the one where you either make or lose the most points. They do not have a lot of cars, and they have a lot of space, so there's a lot of space that they're going to need to fill. Overall, looking back on the garage itself, it's painted okay. I think a lot of them are pretty original, and I'm not actually sure that any of them are painted, so I think that's interesting. I think that they group them really well for not being painted a lot, but at the same time, they do not have a whole lot of cars. So I think at the end of the day, they're going to get a 1.25 for the garage just because of the minimal cars and minimal paint jobs, if that makes sense. Miscellaneous category, they were made in 2020, so they'll take off 0.25 of a point, and then a 300 to 27, that's around 1/9, or 300 to 2,700, so that's a 1/9, so we'll give them a 0.75 in that category, so nothing will be taken off of the profile views. And if we add it all up, it looks like they get a 5.75, so overall not too bad. That is above the halfway mark. So good job. And let's hop into our next person. All right. So next up we have Twin Invincible. And firstly, I'm actually going to go over and read what the best thing and worst thing about the profile is, because I haven't done it in a while and I feel like I should. What is the best thing about your profile? I like the way it looks and I don't grind, so my cars are all achievable. What is the worst thing about your profile? The colors don't coordinate since I don't have any cash, lol. So actually the worst thing is that could actually be fixed, so we're really going to look at if they fix that and kind of look at it. Alright, so Twin Invincible, name, tag, and badges. So no badge, but the name and the tag look pretty good, so we're going to give them a 1.75. Everybody's gotten a 1.75 so far. Racer skill, they are above 100, so they're the first person to get a 1.5 in that category. Racer activity, they're level 5, so they'll get a 1 for that, but they did mention not being a grinder, so that makes sense. And then let's look at the garage. The garage, it looks okay. I think I'm not completely sure what they were going with the design, but I kind of like the symmetrical design, like right here, if you can kind of see it. And they were also going with like both purple and blue, which I think kind of makes sense. I think they might have given up on this kind of stuff, or like they haven't really bothered to change it much yet, but I'm not completely sure what they were going to do up here. And then also on this side, I'm not completely sure what they're going to do over here in general. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to be giving them around a 1.75, just because, it looks okay and it looks nice, but there are some spots that probably could be improved upon. And then miscellaneous 2019, and they have around an 1800 to 3900, so almost one half like profile view to race count rate. So we will give them a full 1 point in that. So adding it all up, this is actually a pretty solid run. It looks like 3.55, and then they get 7 in total. So overall, a really nice job. Let's hop into our next person. Okay, so next up we have Thunder Typer. What is the best thing about your profile? I got gold anonymously from somebody on January 19, 2021, and I don't have much, so I don't have much cars. Wow, I just totally botched that, but I do like that I have the Dominator. What is the worst thing about your profile? I don't have a lot of cars and not a lot of money, so I donated people on my team. And then, so let's look at everything regarding this. I actually really like the THT tag and the Thunder Typer name. So obviously that will get a full, or not a full because they don't have a badge, a 1.75. Racer skill, they're between 15 and 100, so they get a 1 for that. Racer activity, they're level 6, so they will get a 1 for that. And then garage layout, really the thing that separates a lot of people. I think it looks okay. The garage spacing, I've never been a huge think of. It kind of looks like the cars are social distancing, but you know, it looks okay. I think they really went for, you know, like which car looks best and which paint job, which with like yeah, which I kind of like. But overall, I think it's also kind of a thing to like make up for a lack of cars in a way. So at the end of the day, I do kind of like the symmetry and what they're going for it. I kind of wonder if they're going to be trying to doing that all the way. And I'm not wild about this, like all of this garage space for no reason. So I think at the end of the day, I will give them a 1.25 just because of the lack of cars and spacing. But you know, it looks okay, and I like the thought put into each car's paint job, but it just doesn't look totally correlated with each other. So in 2020, so we'll take off 0.25, and they actually have a pretty high profile view to race count rate, so we'll give them an 0.75. Tallying it all up, it looks like we have around a 5.75, so actually tying with Spirit, it looks like. So overall, good job. Again, over 50%. Let's hop into our next Moving on, we have MTH Insane Typer. They're pretty fast, so I'd be very interested. What is the best thing about your profile? I have a lot of cars that are painted green, and what is the worst thing about your profile? I don't have the Range Runner. I was 3 races away from it. Which one was a Range Runner again? I'll look that up in just a bit. So anyways, it looks like that they totally did a garage redesign to more blue, which you know, I'm never against a garage redesign, but we'll have to look into it in a little bit. So they are on 5 HRK, which is really cool, but they do not have a tag, so we will give them 1.75 out of 2. Racer skill, they're above 150 words per minute, so they get a full 2 out of 2. Racer activity, they're well above the main like accuracy activity requirement, so they'll get a full 2. Overall, really solid start. I do actually kind of like these cars that are arranged in like a straight line and stuff like that. I think it looks nice. But overall, we really want to see with these kind of cars how they're grouped in like specific rows and such. So let's look at it right now. Overall, I think that a lot of care was put into some parts of these. Like you can see that a lot of gray cars are over here. And then I'm going to look for where some other gray cars are as how they were like kind of implemented into it. So I think the main goal was to like kind of like put Mercedes-Benzes with Mercedes-Benzes, something that looks pretty cool. And overall, it looks like a pretty solid amount of care was put into this. They also have a bunch of cars, so that also puts them into a good position. I'm actually going to give them a 2.5, so a really solid score there as well. And then miscellaneous, they were made in 2016, and they have a pretty high profile view to race count ratio. So we will give them a full one point. So actually adding it all up, it looks like they get around a 9.25, a really, really solid run. If our last person wants to catch up to them, they're going to have to go almost perfect. So we're going to have to see how they do right after this. Let's hop into it. And now we have Hyper Typer 15K. Let's read out what they said right here. What is the best thing about your profile? Their cars. And what is the worst thing? NT Gold. I don't have it, not begging or asking. So actually, we do not judge on NT Gold. While there are some, you know, like kind of underlying things that affect it, let's look at everything regarding this garage. So, this profile. So no tag, but the name and the badge looks pretty good. So we're going to give them a 1.75. That means that everybody in this video got a 1.75. Wow. Racer skill, they're between 50 and 100, so they'll get 1 point. Racer activity, they are level 5, so they'll also get 1 point. And then garage layout. So really just kind of looking at it right now, they split it up in the King of the Race cars. So, I mean, it's okay. The King of the Race car is separated like this. It's okay. I can see what they're trying to go for here. This already looks really nice. I like the white, and then I like the cyan. And then overall, looking down here, this actually looks pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I'd say that if it wasn't so spaced out, I'd be like a really big fan of it. And if they had a little bit more cars, I'd be a really big fan. And I believe looking at it right now, you know, it overall looks pretty good, especially for an account with no gold, because it looks like they really picked up a lot of different stuff. So that being said, I think just looking at it right now, I'm going to give them a 2.25 out of 3. If they could get more cars and not space it out so much between those like top 2 things, I definitely think it would be an even higher score. So 2.25 overall, pretty solid. And then finally, the miscellaneous category, they were made in 2020, so we'll take off 0.25. And then they have around a 13 to 150 rate, it looks like, which is under 10%, so we'll also take off 0.25. And so that means that they'll get a 0.5 out of 1 for that category. So we're going to have to do some real adding right now. It looks like that adds up to 4, 6, 6.5. So overall, not too bad. This means that our winner of the tournament, or our winner of this episode, was MTH Insane Typer. Congratulations on your 5 million. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. Have an amazing day, and peace out.